Everyone feels nervous around certain people sometimes. It's that funny feeling in your stomach when you meet someone who seems super sure of themselves. This often happens with Sigma males. They're not trying to scare anyone, but the way they act can make others feel a bit intimidated. These men just do things differently. They have their own way of thinking and doing things that can be quite impressive, but also daunting to others. While Sigma males may not intentionally try to intimidate other men, here are 6 habits they have that often do just that. Number 1. They cannot be controlled. It's tough dealing with someone who can't be pushed around or controlled. These guys like to do things their own way, and that can be pretty intimidating. They have this strong sense of who they are and what they want, and they're not about to let anyone mess with that. When you can't control someone, it can make you feel uneasy or even a bit scared because you never know what they're going to do next. Sigma men are independent to the core. They don't need anyone's approval to go after what they want. If someone tries to tell them what to do or tries to change them, they just won't have it. They trust themselves and their decisions. This kind of attitude can make others feel like they don't have any influence or power over them. They're not stubborn just for the sake of it. They listen, but they make up their own minds. This has others thinking twice about how to interact with them. It's like they have this invisible shield that protects them from being swayed by others' opinions or pressure. When someone can't be controlled, it brings out a sense of unpredictability that can make others uncomfortable. For some people, going along with the crowd is what feels safe and easy, but these men don't follow the crowd. They set their own path. They don't mind standing alone if it means staying true to themselves. They don't play by the usual rules because they have their own rules. This can throw people off balance as they can't predict or influence their actions. Sigma males also take full responsibility for their choices. They don't blame others when things go wrong, and they don't need to seek permission to make a move. This kind of freedom and accountability can be both liberating and intimidating for others. While many people follow trends, seek validation, and live by others' expectations, this non-conformist attitude can be quite intimidating for those who are used to the status quo. Not having control over someone makes others unsure and even a bit wary. Number 2. Direct and honest communication. When someone speaks his mind without beating around the bush, it can catch others off guard. This direct way of talking can make some people feel uneasy. Being honest and straightforward means saying things as they are, without sugarcoating. It's not about being rude, it's just about being real. This level of honesty can make other men feel uncomfortable, especially if they're not used to it. Many guys soften their words to avoid hurting feelings or causing a scene. But when someone always speaks their truth, it can be like a breath of fresh air and a punch in the gut at the same time. For someone who's used to polite chit-chat, direct communication can seem a bit too blunt. Sigma men just get straight to the point during discussions. No fluff, no filler. If there's a problem, they address it head-on. This can be intimidating to those who prefer to skirt around issues or keep things light and easy. Conflict doesn't scare them, and they're not afraid to speak up, even if it's not what everyone wants to hear. When someone is this open, you always know where you stand. They tell the truth, even when it's hard, and they expect the same from others. This can create an atmosphere of trust, but also a bit of fear. Trust, because you know they'll always be real with you. Fear, because you might not be ready to face the truth they're giving. This honest way of talking means they don't hide their opinions or feelings. They'll give feedback openly and expect others to be okay with it. To some, this can feel like a challenge. It's easier to deal with people who go along with everything, but a person who's always truthful and straightforward pushes others to be more honest too, and that can be tough. In a world where many people avoid hard truths, someone who communicates with complete transparency will always stand out. Others might feel nervous around them, worrying about what they might say next. But deep down, there's a respect for that upfront style. even if it takes some getting used to. Number 3. They often get predictions right. It can be pretty intimidating when someone seems to always know what's going to happen next. He's not just guessing. He's the one who somehow sees the game plan before it's even laid out. Whether it's about work, life, or even predicting someone's next move, Sigma male gets it right almost every time. This kind of accuracy makes others uneasy. It feels like he's got some inside info that no one else has. It's not magic, though. He pays attention to the details that most people miss. While others are busy focusing on just what's in front of them, he's looking at the whole picture, connecting the dots. His observations aren't just casual. He really sees what's going on, and that's what helps him make those spot-on predictions. When he says something's going to happen, and then it does, people start to get on edge. His ability to read situations and people can be unnerving, especially if you're not used to someone being right all the time. Some might even get a bit defensive around him, feeling like they're always a step behind. But he doesn't make these predictions to show off or make others feel small. It's just the way his mind works. Even in a group setting, when everyone is clueless about what might happen next, he calmly shares his thoughts, and most of the time, he hits the nail on the head. This kind of foresight can generate a mix of admiration and a bit of unease. It's tough to compete with someone who seems to always know what's coming. This predictive habit isn't about making waves or being the loudest in the room. It's just about having a deep understanding of patterns and behaviors. He reads between the lines and catches on to trends fast. While it's impressive, it also creates a certain tension. People aren't sure how he does it, but one thing's for sure, it grabs their attention and makes them take notice. Number 4. Intellectual intimidation. Sigma men often have a way of thinking that's way beyond the average Joe. They might not be book smart like someone with a PhD, but they still have an impressive intellect and are street smart too. This combination can make other guys feel a bit inadequate and even intimidated, especially if they are lacking in confidence themselves. Sigma males are always thinking and analyzing things, and this can be intimidating to others who may not have the same level of mental agility. These men don't show off their smarts by using big words or quoting famous people. It's more about how they process information and make connections that others may not see. They can talk about deep stuff like it's no big deal, making others wonder how they know so much. Being truly smart goes beyond just knowing facts and figures. It's about thinking on your feet and coming up with creative solutions fast. Sigma men are really sharp and often get respect without even trying. They are not trying to make others feel bad, but they're just genuinely curious and interested in a lot of things. They ask questions that make you think deeply and challenge your usual way of thinking. Conversations with them are often not the typical small talk, but include big thought-provoking subjects. This intellectual depth can make some people feel like they're not as sharp, even if they're really smart in their own ways. It's not about showing off. It's just the way things are done. It comes naturally to him and can be surprising for others to see. This unique way of thinking can set a person apart, almost like they have a secret advantage. It's not that others don't like it, but it can make them feel awkward. When someone has this kind of sharp mind, it's natural for others to be taken aback and feel unsure. This sharp thinking doesn't come from memorizing books, but from a natural, quick-witted brain power that stands out. It's about being street smart, emotionally intelligent, and having a deep understanding of oneself. This can be hard for some men to compete with. Number 5. Indifference to status and hierarchies. Not everyone is obsessed with climbing the social ladder or impressing the boss. There are some guys out there who just don't care about status or hierarchies. While most are trying to befriend the higher-ups or get noticed for a promotion, Sigma men are doing their own thing. They don't care about titles or who has the corner office. All they care about is doing their job well and being fulfilled in their work. This kind of attitude can throw others off. When someone isn't trying to please anyone or kiss up to the boss, it confuses people, especially those in positions of power. They're used to everyone playing the same game and following the same unspoken rules. But here's someone who doesn't. The Sigma man treats the janitor with the same respect as the CEO. He doesn't change how he acts depending on who's around. This kind of consistency can make others uncomfortable because it sheds light on how much they care about status. His indifference means he won't change his principles to move up in the world. If he thinks something is wrong, he'll say it, even if it means disagreeing with a supervisor. This straightforwardness can be admirable, but also intimidating. People aren't used to someone who speaks their mind without worrying about the consequences. It shakes up the usual dynamics and makes others rethink their actions. Since he isn't motivated by status, he won't engage in office politics or join the rat race. He doesn't boast about his achievements or try to outshine others. He just lets his work speak for itself. Others might get frustrated around him because they can't predict or influence his actions. He doesn't need validation from anyone, which makes him hard to control. This free spirit tends to make waves just by being himself. He operates outside the usual social structures, and that makes him a wild card. While others are busy trying to fit in or climb the ladder, the Sigma male is fine just doing his own thing. Number 6. Speaking less, but with more impact. Some guys seem to talk all the time, even if they aren't saying anything important. They fill up silences with stories, jokes, and random chatter, hoping to keep everyone entertained and themselves in the spotlight. But then there are those who speak less and still make a bigger impact. They don't do it to be mysterious or enigmatic. It's just their natural way of communicating. They sit quietly and take in everything around them without needing to constantly talk. It's not about being shy or having nothing to say. It's just that they prefer quality over quantity. Sigma males are strategic with their words. They are waiting for the right moment to share their thoughts, not just blurting out whatever comes to mind. This way of speaking can make them seem mysterious because they only speak when it's necessary, or when they have something valuable to contribute. There's power in their silence. They don't need to fill every pause with words. It's like they thought things through while everyone else was busy talking. When the Sigma man talks, his point is clear and straight to the heart of the matter. While some men might repeat the same thing in different ways, he says it once, and that's enough. No fluff, no filler, just pure, straightforward talk. It's refreshing, but also a bit intimidating because people sometimes feel like they should be talking less and listening more. This habit can make others feel rushed into speaking because they can't stand the silence. But for him, silence isn't awkward. It's a chance to think and understand what's really going on. While everyone's trying to be heard, the Sigma man won't fight for attention. He'll wait for his turn and speak his piece when it counts.